I 100% agree because there are so many things that I do in my life. Some people contact me and they're like, how do you have the confidence that you have?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I call it like my cannonball theory. When you're gonna jump into a pool and
Yeah.
you know it's cold,
Yeah.
before you jump, you just have to say fuck it and just do
Yes.
it. You
Yes.
just it's cannonball and when you're above the water, you brace for it and it's never as bad as you think it is,
Yeah.
ever. So it's my cannonball theory.
That's
Or you have 3 glasses of wine. Either
Yeah,
one.
that's also a good one. It's
Either one.
interesting, that I actually would love to talk to you about that because, like, obviously, I wanted to. I think you're awesome and funny and so sweet. You come
Ugh,
across so lovely, and here are all the compliments. Um,
stop that. Okay, yeah.
and
Mhm.
yeah, I really wanted to chat to you. I really enjoy watching your YouTube, like enjoyed watching your YouTube series.
Oh
I
my god.
wanted to chat to you about dating, and especially because I read one of your captions about how
Mhm.
your fiance ghosted you, and I want to get into all of that.
Oh my god. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay,
That is
amazing.
terrible. Okay, so where do you wanna begin?
Well, firstly, I do want to
Mhm,
ask you what you just said. I think is
mhm,
actually like very inspiring and
mhm,
helpful. Like when you said that feeling of somebody or people asking you where do you get your confidence from,
mhm,
and you have to like just brace and be like, fuck it. Do you
mhm.
feel like did you have that feeling more in the beginning of when you started what you were doing and also like introduce yourself and talk about what you do and everything, but do you feel like you felt that way more and then from bracing yourself and being like fuck it more and more you kind of practiced it and now you're more confident
Mm.
naturally? Or
I think so I come and this is everybody has a different experience with their hometown, and it has everything to do with your family dynamic and your friendships, but I lived in a place mentally where I knew that I could do more things, but I was waiting for somebody to either tell me or I thought that it would in some way like ruin some friendships of mine. And I I was surrounded. Okay, so I'm Hispanic, right? Like I don't know if it's Hispanic or Latino. I have to give it another Google. Every time I Google it, I go, "Oh, that makes sense," and then I forget it. Okay,
right.
so I have to. But my mom is Colombian, my father is Brazilian, and I grew up in Miami, so it's all white people are the minority where I
Yeah,
come
yeah.
from. When I left Miami, and I was like, "White people are saying this?" Like I was like, if come to Miami, you can't even go to Forever 21. They'll
Right.
be like, I can't help you, Steven." Like, okay. So I think that culturally, it's like very hyper focused on, I call it shame culture.
Hmm.
A good girl wouldn't do that, like
Hmm.
only bad girls do this, or guys don't like it when women do that, especially.
Hmm.
And in Hispanic culture, like you kind of just like you go to college, you get a really good job, and like you're a mom and don't ask any questions, and like, oh no, not too much attention. And I always felt weird because I could suck up attention with a straw, baby. Okay. And I was a ham. I was always a ham. But I remember like as early as like fifth grade, going to a school dance. And I was so excited because we grew up watching school dances on TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, a boy is gonna fall in love with me today. Like, and I remember dancing and jumping up and down. I'm a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And I remember this girl, I still remember her name. I'm not gonna say it, but
Yeah.
ugh. And she was like, "Aren't you embarrassed?" And I remember that's the first time I felt embarrassed, like self-conscious, like
Wow.
awareness in the bad sense. Okay. So then when I got to New York, I met all these different people. I moved from Miami to Bogota because I
Okay.
went to a rehab for an eating disorder, and I'm not embarrassed about it at all. I
Yeah.
actually, it's weird that people make rehab sound like Girl Interrupted. It is retirement home for the young. It's the happiest time of my life.
No
Okay,
way,
I got to eat
really.
Jello all day and draw and do yoga. It was amazing,
That is amazing.
amazing. And then I had like 3 hours dedicated to talk about myself. I was like, I never want to leave, Martha. Like, I never want to go. So after that, my mom was like, "Where should you go?" And she was like, "Everybody should move away to New York." So in New York, you meet all these different people, but social media and well, my mom always says, no matter where you go with you. So I could have gone to Tokyo and I
Mhm,
still had these like self-conscious issues to work through, but being
mhm,
around people who are confident in themselves definitely rubs off
mhm,
on you. So I was like 27 or so. So it's 27 years or so just being super self-conscious.
mhm,
And people were like, "Oh, you're still so confident," but they had no idea that I'd go home and I would have like this horrible anxiety about like if
Right.
I look stupid or whatever. And I want to be the main character, but what if I'm just a supporting actor?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was a really hard pill for me to swallow too, because I was like, I feel the MC running through me, the main character energy, but I don't know if people will like me.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was like 27, I worked at this production studio, which like is kind of like Pier 59 or Milk, but they were like Dune and Sandbox, and they had come together and they were looking for new branding. So I was working on their social marketing team, which means I got to meet all these really cool creative people that didn't give a fuck.
Right.
And they didn't give a shit, like nothing. They knew that they were They knew that they were talented.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they went home and were like, fuck, 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 like I really fucked this up or whatever. But in front of me, they were so like, I'm relaxed in my destiny of doing this. Like so sure,
Wow. Wow.
like and failure was just that. It wasn't a
Right.
it was just I'm meant to do this. So failing doesn't mean that I'm not meant to do this. It just means I
Right.
have more to learn ideas.
Yeah.
And I really that was like the first time I saw also I grew up in working wardrobe, but to see like truly like people who like photographers and people who put like the mood boards together and like work on their vision, confidently talk about their vision and
Yeah.
present in front of people confidently. Like if you don't get it, that's your problem energy.
Yeah.
That was everything to me.
Mhm.
So I started to pretend I was just that person. Like I would
Right.
adopt a personality every day, and then I started becoming that person.
Yeah.
There's something that I learned too. I was always like funny girl, and I realized after a meeting, the CMO of the company, I worked very closely with her, and she came up to me and she was like, "Stop doing that in meetings." And I go, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Stop trying to make people laugh after you say something." Because she's like, "I was like you, where I didn't have confidence in what I was saying. But when you're in that room, you're the expert. You don't have to make everybody else comfortable. It's a bad habit."
Whoa.
And I was like, "Okay, I have to go cry in the bathroom
Yeah.
now."
Let me just
Uh,
question my existence 1 minute.
but it's so true. I realized every time I tried to be serious, I wouldn't just let people soak it in. I'm like, but what do I know?
Yeah.
Like to make a joke.
Yeah.
Um, and then I saw like the startup company was looking for TV hosts because they wanted to start creating their own content. And that was the first time I used like my real cannonball moment.
Right.
Um, because I had never been in front of a camera, only like Instagram stories and stuff.
Mhm.
And the people who watch my Instagram stories, if you're not like known for
Mhm.
content and stuff, they're people who fucking know you.
Yeah.
So you don't have so I just decided to go and they did my makeup and it was awful. And they didn't it was just like some random girl that probably saw like Sephora and they're
Right.
like, here's a camera. Everybody that wants to audition and the corporate team is watching you. You have to talk for 15 minutes.
Wow.
And they had it so it was like the screen, like I'm looking at a laptop right now, and above the laptop was like a timer
Oh
and
my God.
it started at 14:59 and down. And I was just like, I'm gonna talk about how big Harry Styles' nipples look at the Met Gala because he's wearing lace. And I talked about it for 15 fucking minutes. They talked about it for 15 minutes. And Katy Perry at the Met Gala wore like a hamburger. And I think that was a favor to me. She just
Yeah.
gave me, I think she did it for me.
Yeah.
So I talked about that. And then I remember leaving and I didn't know what intrusive thoughts were until like quarantine. I
Mhm.
had to look it up. But I remember leaving that audition and not having a headshot, anything, just showing up.
Mhm.
And I had to email them a presentation about what my show would be. And I titled it Shit I Would Like to Talk About. That's what I
Okay.
titled it. And they were like, oh, we love it. And I was like, okay. And I left and I could hear the thoughts beginning to start like, what if you did really bad? And that was the first time I was like, I'm deciding that I matter more than you. Whoever this person is, it
Right.
can't be me because
Right.
I like me. So
Yeah.
whoever you are not of me.
Yeah.
And I now realize, like looking back, it's all the people that I wanted to please
Yeah.
growing up, especially as like a needy best friend. I was always like a very needy person. And I
Yeah.
read about neediness being like you seek the validation of people who do not give it usually loners or people that are hard to get to know.
Mhm.
And when they give it to you, you feel so validated and then you have to work all over for it. And I
Right.
felt like my intrusive thought was like, oh, you didn't do it, you weren't the best, or you fucked up there, or you stuttered. And I remember realizing I have to make the decision to live my life like a cannonball and not an earthworm,
Mhm.
which I love earthworms. They do what they need to do. They go through the soil, they
Yeah.
fertilize. I totally understand it. But after that, I was like, holy shit, if I thought I was just in control of asking, not receiving.
Yeah.
I had no idea. It like struck me. And then I started just saying to myself all the time, I'm so excited in the mirror. I still do it to this day. I'm so excited for everything that's coming. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Every day I go to sleep, it's one day closer to like the most exciting thing I'm ever going to do.
Even
And
failure, is that like, even not failure, I know failure is
yeah,
not a
yeah.
good word in that, but like even like the shit things that come with that.
So I'm not like a religious person, but I did grow up Catholic. So I do talk to baby Jesus in the nativity.
Great.
So I'll say, or the universe or Mother Earth, or I talk to like I love guardian angels too, because I
Okay.
love the idea of like these big, tough bodyguards with me all
Yeah,
the time.
that is a really
Um,
nice image, actually. I've never thought about that.
yeah, like everybody I talk to, like I'm the most exclusive nightclub, and
Yeah.
they're in front of me. Like I
Yes.
love it. And I whenever something doesn't go my way, I say thank you so much for saving me from that, whatever it could be. Like sometimes when I fight really hard for something, whether it be a boy, a job, a vacation, whatever it is, I get there and I'm like, this is shite, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, why did I fight it so hard? Why did
Yeah.
there's a difference between perseverance and fighting something,
Yeah.
like perseverance,
Yeah.
whatever. Like going uphill on the treadmill is
Yeah.
perseverance,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I just got to the point where I was like, I've wasted so much time. It's like it's like thinking about how much money I've spent on cigarettes.
Yeah.
Don't smoke, but like $500,000 at least,
Damn.
a lot. I
Do you
mean,
still do you still smoke or no?
I hit a vape every now and then,
Fair.
but it's so foreign. Like at least
Yeah.
with tobacco, they're like upfront with like this shit is gonna kill you,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know? With the vape, it's like who knows
Yeah.
what's in there? But it's fucked up because whatever it is, it's damn delicious.
It's delicious. It's
It's
so good.
delicious.
Yeah.
I know. How dare you do mango cream pie?
I
Like
know,
all these
I
like
know.
beautiful fucking things. So whatever. But I started smoking because I had my first anxiety attack when I was like 15.
Really?
And people around me, of course, other 15-year-olds were like, relax, have a smoke,
Right,
which
right,
made it
right. Yes,
worse.
so much
Yes.
worse.
Yeah, so much worse. So I started smoking like nervously, and I
Yeah.
was just like the ice age squirrel for like 15
Right.
years. So, but when it comes to like failure and stuff, I was like, I've already failed at everything there is to fail at. I've failed at relationships.
Mm,
I've probably failed as a daughter a million times. My mom says
mm.
the one thing children will like guarantee to do is disappoint you. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
you're so fun.
great.
She's a Scorpio. She's a
So is
Scorpio.
mine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
She's always trying to do the best she can. She never lets us vent. It's always
Yeah.
the advice. I'm like, okay, whatever. And if you did not do it her way, it's wrong, and she should have done it by herself from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And mine is Colombian though. At least you like, do you drink tea with yours? Lovely.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I
true. Actually,
don't.
to be fair, mine is Irish, so she's pretty like hard
Oh no.
nailed and like from a really religious Catholic 1 of 9 family. But we do drink tea together and we do cute things like that. Yeah.
My mom is like, let's do Peloton. I'm like, okay.
So my mom is a spin teacher.
Amazing. My mom just got the Peloton. She's obsessed with it.
It
But
sounds
I'm like,
like
you need to
we need to
talk about
hang
your
out.
feelings, mom. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you need to talk about your feelings and not just get on the Peloton. She's like, shut up. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, I think I failed at everything. So I was like, the worst that can happen is that I said I did my absolute best. And that's the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I embarrassed so if you saw the YouTube show,
Mm-hmm.
the worst, oh my God, what am I doing? Was like the first few episodes,
Mm-hmm.
because if I was paranoid
Mm-hmm.
and had somebody making fun of me,
Yeah.
having a live show with 5 people on would be prime time for that person. If
Yeah.
they were looking to make me the butt of the joke, I was literally handing it to them, be like,
Right.
look. And I was so nervous in the beginning. I watched the first episodes and I wish I could just scrub it from the internet because I'm so fucking nervous. But all like, oh my God, I hit my
Be
elbow.
careful.
I know. It's like my guardian angels are like, stop saying that about yourself.
Yeah.
But I think I realized that I was so obsessed. We always think about the people that don't like us
Yeah.
hearing us and seeing us And we never think about the people that are so excited for us.
Yeah.
Like your real friends, your family, or
I know,
people that
yeah.
you don't like. I'm sure with your podcast too, you get like, I love you,
Yeah.
you're incredible. And you're
Yeah.
like, I wish I started sooner because for so long I didn't because I was so scared about that one bitch in 8th grade.
Yeah. And
Or
I
like
was I
whatever.
was I was just listening to your and Molly's K, do I say it K pasa? K penna?
Que pena,
Che
yeah.
penna. I was
Que
just
pena.
listening. Che penna.
Amazing.
I was just listening to your two, the most recent episode, and I think it was Molly who was talking about. I mean, obviously it's a conversation between you two, but talking about how so often you can get kind of bogged down with this idea of like success and like what I want this to
Mhm.
be, and then you become obsessed with that, and you prevent yourself from taking, or you slow yourself down from taking like those daily steps. And I think
Mhm.
that when you have it's very easy to either get distracted with like some big massive goal, and also have those voices in your head where you're like, this isn't good enough, I'm not good enough, like
Mhm.
this is embarrassing, and thinking it's like your closest friends, and even you wouldn't say that to your best friends. So why
Mm-mm.
are you getting bogged down and like obsessed with these thoughts that you think your worst enemies have of you, and those
Yeah,
people aren't of any caliber at all if they're going to be judging you for putting yourself out there and letting yourself into the realm of
100%.
trying.
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's like it's 2 things. One, I realized that those voices that were so mean to me loved me and were just trying to protect me. So that was one thing, one part of like accepting that part of myself and being like, I love myself so much that I never want to see myself hurt.
Mhm.
And that's that side coming through, right?
Right.
And then second is you have to consider the source.
Yeah.
People who are not brave enough to be transparent to it's always like on my TikToks especially,
Mhm.
the meanest commentary, I'll click and it's like a cartoon character for a profile and no content.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to take advice and criticism or hate whatever from people who are actually brave enough to put themselves in the ring.
Yes.
I am not going to listen to the peanut gallery all the way in the nosebleeds that have
Yes.
don't know what it's like to be vulnerable
Yeah.
and don't know what it's like to put yourself out there and post it to the internet where everybody from Timbuktu
Yeah.
to my high school can hear it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not so I used to like listen to I used to listen to like oh my god, there was like these girls that like I'm assuming they're girls from how absolute incredibly bitchy they were on my TikToks. But then I would write, I would respond
Oh
with like,
no.
I would respond in my most like aggressive, especially in the beginnings and stuff. And
Yeah.
then I check their profiles and there's like Roblox. And I'm
Right.
like, these girls are 12. These girls are 12 years old. And then I remember I would respond to some and they'd be like, oh my God, I got your attention. I'd be like, oh my God, they're 12.
Yeah.
They're 12 years old. And I'm there like, all right. All right. You know what I mean? Like, let's fucking do this. You want to go? And you're just, and I look back and I'm like, oh, their bitchiest commentary was like, you're pretty basic. And I was like, how dare you? You know? And I hate that TikTok also, like, people will like a comment. And I'm like, 61 people agreed. How, and I can't see who it is. Unbelievable. But yeah, like, and also, I wanna say this, like, there are so many people that message me,
Mm.
especially on LinkedIn.
Oh
I don't
really?
know. I know. I was like, "Okay, I have to answer because this was genius
Yeah.
to to reach out to me on LinkedIn, like that meme, like, from 1 to checking LinkedIn, how bored are you? Like,
Yeah.
they know I'm gonna check those EMs,
Yeah.
and, they'll be like, "How did you" I'm really, really scared to start, and I'm always like, "You have to frame it differently."
What
I'm
do you mean?
excited
I'm really scared oh, like I'm
to
excited.
start, like, creating.
Right.
Or even if it's like it's even like when I say creating, I mean even some girls will be like, "I wanna delete this video I just posted on TikTok," and I'll check, and it's them doing like the renegade, like
Yeah.
so hyper focused
Yeah.
on opinion, and it doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah.
And even if it's for like a guy, I wish I could tell them I could show up with pink hair and no eyebrows, and Jason would be like, "Is that our new top?" Like the way that men don't give a shit.
Literally don't give a shit. It's so
Shit.
funny.
Shit, I look at my brother and he's 24 and I'm like, "You are so beautiful in the way that you are simple.
Yeah. Boys are, do you know what? I find, I don't know if you're similar like this. Like, I've become better at getting friends with girls, but when I was younger, I was very much someone who, especially at uni, took a lot of comfort in just being friends with boys, because boys are so simple, and you can say to them like, look, I don't want to hang out with you, I just want to watch a movie on my own, and they're like, cool bro, see you next week. And like, some girls can, not all girls, but like, can retreat into that bitchiness of like, why don't you want to hang out with us, like, you know, and then be passive
Yeah.
aggressive about it. And they, where boys are just kind of like, cool, life is good, like, am I turned on, am I watching football, like,
Yeah.
I need to go
Am I
shit.
turned on?
Yeah, like that's
I
pretty much it.
I had like one. I was like they're in Spanish, it's called hairy booger, like a moco peludo. Like I would pick one person and I would be like their best friend.
Yeah.
And that worked out so well for me. Like Chloe, I did a video about how she put the away message that I had hairy toes. Thank you so much, Chloe. And she does so and we were complete opposites. Like she works for the government and she like helps, she goes to underdeveloped countries and cities, like rural cities in Brazil,
Wow.
and tries to teach people about like herpes prevention and like what it is and educate them, and like malaria, and like she's incredible. Like she will sleep in the Amazon where it's 105 degrees in jeans outside if it means like helping somebody.
Wow. So
And
she's
she
like
will
a good person.
she's incredible. She doesn't even wear makeup. She looks fucking beautiful, that bitch. She's incredible. She's so beautiful. And she was so kind naturally.
Yeah.
And we went through, so she was like my Pen 15 sister, like my middle school sister. And she was someone who like we would have sleepovers and talk about boys, everything normal. And I was 5'7" and I had a mole and I had very, very frizzy hair. Why my mom didn't give me an olive oil treatment is but unbeknownst to moi, unbeknownst to me. And she was like very shy. So she's beautiful, but she was extremely shy.
Okay.
So we got along really well. And then I got into high school and everything changed and we went to different schools. Right.
Right.
So for me, I had to like start kind of like outsourcing outsourcing for friendship and stuff. And I got kind of lost, and I thought like to be cool would be like to smoke weed and
Right.
like date and stuff. And one, I can't smoke weed, I will go directly to the hospital.
Yeah.
Like every time I've ever tried, I'm like having a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
And then
I'm the
yeah,
same. I just don't, I don't
can't.
do well with weed. And I would try throughout high school to try and smoke it and be cool because all the like cool kids were doing that. And now
Never.
one time I went to LA, like this was like a few years ago, and
Mhm.
my friend in LA, it's like mad rampant weed and like the different strains. In London, it's just like, yeah, got a bit of hash, and you're like, cool.
Oh my God.
It's so chill. And in LA, one of my
Amazing.
best friends took her to her friend's house and they were like, oh, do you want a dab? I was like, what the fuck is that? And they
Oh
were
my
like,
God, no, you didn't.
yeah. And I was like, I didn't know what it was. And obviously I'm just kind of like, oh, we're chilling or whatever. And so they like just take a bit of it. So I like do a bit and then I didn't feel anything. So I do another bit and then I don't feel anything. So I do another bit. And then I'm like, guys, this doesn't work. And I hand it back to them.
And then all of a sudden,
I am sitting there.
and you shit out your heart.
The darkness just starts to enclose my eyes. So I have tunnel vision and my heart is racing. I can't move. And I'm like, I've lost my mind.
I've lost my mind.
Lost my mind. And it's not coming back to me ever.
Everybody says no one's ever overdosed from weed. And I always say the same thing. Here's your first, babe. It's me. Call the coroner.
Yeah.
Call National Geo, whatever the fuck. It's me, babe. I'm fucking dead. I'm alive, but I'm dead.
It even stresses me out talking about it. I'm like, oh God, I don't even want to.
And my fiance is an avid. He smokes weed 24/7. His dad and him love weed.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he truly is like a nervous person too. And it really like when people see him, they're like, oh, he's so cool. Oh my God. Today he's trainer. He's like, where's that deodorant? And because he was like couldn't find it, he gets so flustered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you packed it, not me. So he loves weed, and I have this horrible phobia that I'm gonna bite into something and he's gonna be like, did you eat that? And I'm gonna be like, no. And my phobia is so bad that he will order Thai food and I'll look at him and I'll be like, I know that sounds crazy, but you got to tell me there's no weed in this. And he's
no
like,
way.
I'm like, I get so fucking paranoid.
Wow.
I'm so paranoid because I love a wine. I've been sober for 30 days today. Like I'm trying to see how far I can go.
Okay,
but the way that thank you so much. But the way the skin is looking, I might do 3 or 4.
Go for it.
Like,
do
oh
it.
My
Your
God.
skin is flawless.
Thank you so much. I'm working so hard. I can smell Merlot in my dreams. Okay, I can smell Merlot in my dreams. But yeah, like Jason is somebody who finds comfort in giving up his control, and I'm someone who like my to-do list is oh my god, beautiful. I love that bitch.
Bellissima.
Oh my god, I look at her and I go, God, you're beautiful. You look amazing. The longer the list, the more gorge.
Yeah.
Like Angelina Jolie, beautiful.
Do you take like significant pleasure out of also like crossing things out and like color coding?
I cross it out like this. Oh, like that. I love it. 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 That's one thing about Jason too that I was like so scared when I first met him. I was like, oh, I don't know if we're gonna have anything to talk about or whatever. Now he can't shut the fuck up, but like because he was so to himself, was stoned all the time. When I saw him though, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but we are for sure having sex. But like I was like, for sure I'm having sex with you. But like he messaged me on Tinder and he was like, hi, and I was like 305-461. Like I was like, this is my number.
Wait, so so you guys matched on Tinder? Yes.
We matched on Tinder. But I say the secret to people are like, find somebody with the same demons as you. Okay. I think you should find somebody the same level of hoe as you.
Yeah.
So we were both, to say that we swiped with each other was not rare. You know, like I was out and about and he was, if you moved, if you walked, if you talked, you know. So we met and we didn't have any expectations of each other, but I am someone who I attach like Velcro.
Yeah.
So he was the first person I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I tortured myself. I'm going to date around.
Right.
I am not going to dedicate all my energy to one person. I have a lot to do for myself. At the time I was like freelance working as like a producer. Meaning I was like, Mom, can you help me with my rent? Like,
yeah, I was like, what does that mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I could say I was like a quinoa farmer. I could say whatever I want about that time, but I was real. I had a lot to worry about, and I had finally had like my core group of friends that I loved.
Yeah.
And but when I matched with Jason, I remember being like, oh my God, that's my boyfriend. I feel like he's gonna be my boyfriend. And
were you attracted to him? Was he like your type? Like physically, was he like your type? Obvious, like
yeah. Because he also looks like a fucking asshole. Like every shirt, every post was like he had like a blunt and he had like his hair down. He was like shirtless. He has a chest tattoo, like an eagle with a snake, because his mom's Mexican. And like he's a model agent, so it was like him at these fancy parties, whatever. And I was at Planet Fitness, like. You know, like that's just me on this block was me. Exactly. So he was intimidating, but I don't get intimidated easily. Mm-hmm. It's just that he was like an LOLer. Like he would just say LOL and then not give anything else. So I was just like, I'm just gonna send him a meme. So for a while we talked in memes, whatever. But the first time he ever messaged me, I was in New York.
Yeah.
And then I decided I wanted to go home to Miami for a month. And then I went home, and 2 weeks later he texted me at like midnight.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm in Miami. And he was like, oh, until when? And I said, oh, for a month. And it was like the 2nd of September. And he said, okay. He said, okay. Yeah. And then didn't talk to me for 6 weeks.
But why would he? Wait, so you were going to be, so this was before you met, the first time he messaged you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so
before we met.
Yeah. And so you were in Miami, you were 2 more weeks in Miami.
I was a month left.
Oh, you were a month left. And he messaged you 6 weeks later.
So in the beginning, when I was in Miami, right when I got there, he messaged me like at midnight. He was like, where are you? And I was like, I'm in Miami. And I said like I was there for a month. And for him not to text me 6 weeks later, I was like, oh my God, this guy just wants to fuck me.
Kind of fair though.
Awful. Kind of fair, but I was like, not even. And I would text him.
Okay.
And he wouldn't answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and I would be so then when I met him, I was like, we were chatting.
Right. And then, okay.
We were chatting, and then and you knew what I looked like. He had already sent me a dick pic, I think, at this point.
Oh, I was so you guys had proper convo before that?
Yes, we had proper convo.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, and then to not talk to me, I was like, is it because you couldn't have sex with me? And he was like, and you know, he said, he's like, oh, you are pretty hot. So I was like, men are so easy and simple in so many ways. So then I was like, in that moment, I was like, I'm kind of like annoyed. And you know what he said? He goes, that sucks. I was like, wow, I want to be like you. Where a girl would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I had so much to do. Like, and he was just like, no, it's what it is. And immediately I was like, oh my God, you're pretty hot and you seem unavailable.
I hate that is
Let's
so
get
classic though.
together.
That is such
So good.
classic type of like I'm unavailable, but like gives you some amount of attention in terms of like you're pretty hot or whatever, and it like fills you with joy and like
Yes.
gratification and wanting more.
And it's like, so it's always, I had to like level it out. I always like come to my own little epiphanies by journaling,
Okay.
and it's great. Like I'll write something and I'll be like, I didn't even know that. And I
Yeah.
was journaling around that time, and it was like I was setting myself up for somebody else determining if I was special or not. And I was handing over this power over and over and over again in my life.
Mhm.
And I realized that even in dating, I was like, if this guy likes me back, I must be special. And if he doesn't, doesn't matter. I already knew I wasn't. Like this really low point. And he was like kind of like not a mute, but he was such a bad fucking texter.
Yeah.
I was like, did you just get into a car accident and you're relearning English? Like, is something going on where like you are maybe it's your second language and you're not letting me know? Like, I don't know. Are your fingers like literally fucking broken? Do you text like this?
Yeah.
Like I have no idea. And so then I realized pretty quickly, like, we need to be in person,
Mm.
but I'm not going to spend more than a weekend with you. Like, I'll be there Friday, Saturday, period. Cause I fall deeply into like 5 days a week, 6 days a week, never leaving, always wanting to come over kind
But
of deal.
why
What?
why would you go from him so you come back to New York, he texts you
Hmm.
being like, let's do something or whatever.
And I go immediately.
But why do you say we can do Friday, Saturday? Wouldn't you just be like, let's go for a drink on Friday? Like, why is there 2 days involved?
Oh, no, I mean, like, when I started, like, sleeping over his house, like, after a couple
Okay.
months,
Okay,
instead
okay.
of, like well, this our that was our first date, and he asked me to come home with him, and I said, "No," and he
Okay.
tells everybody I fell in love with her because she made me wait, and I'm like, "Jason, I fucked you on the second date. What kind of life what kind of life are you living? Disgusting."
Ah,
I
that's
was like,
so
"What the fuck are you talking
funny.
about?" And he showed up 3 hours late to our second date. 3 hours late. Thank God I saw one of my we were supposed to meet at the park. And thank God I saw one of my girlfriends. And I looked at my watch and I'm like, this motherfucker's late. And he finally shows up, stoned out of his mind, stoned out of his mind. And he goes, sorry, I was making some real dank chili. I had the chili though, it was really good. So, but it was really good. But at that point though, I had stopped taking things personally. And I think that was like a really big thing for me.
Wow.
Everything, I was in such a stable place, like with my friendships, and I
Mhm.
knew I was starting to realize what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be, that his validation, I just wasn't gonna put it even on the scale. I wasn't gonna do it.
Mhm.
And so what happens when you do that, what happens is like you no longer like shape your weekend around them. And I had
Mhm.
done that my whole life.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna put on makeup just in case,
Yep.
whatever. I stopped doing that. And and I think he thought, well, he tells me now, he's like, I thought you were like a fucking alien. Like I would just show up when I wanted to, I would leave when I wanted to. Just because I come over doesn't mean I would leave his house at like Friday at like 2 a.m. to go meet up my friends in the city for a party.
Yeah.
Like I was just like not attached. And
Wow.
because I was so attached to maintaining my friendships that I had lost in other relationships, it was just a
Right.
different focus. And then when we started saying I love you, I was like, God damn it, I did it again. Like, you know, but he's someone who like really has a hard time talking about his feelings.
Okay.
And he taught me a lot about what it was like to, if you want to share yourself with somebody, or somebody wants to share themselves with you have to create like a safe space.
Yes.
And to create a safe space, you have to give up some of your stories too.
Yeah.
Like you got to put some skin in the game.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You got to be a little bit vulnerable. Tell me some embarrassing
Yeah.
shit that you know about your hairy toes or whatever. Like you want to know
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, a month ago, we had really rough sex, and I shit on the bathroom floor.
No
So,
way.
and we don't do the butt stuff. I will not. That's an exit only for moi.
Oh wait, wait,
But
wait. How interesting. You shat on the bathroom floor
yeah, I
during
did. I
sex.
did.
Were you having sex in the bathroom?
No, I
Oh.
ran and I didn't make it. I think I must have eaten something before,
And you
and my
didn't
tummy
clean
was
out
like,
before?
"Whoa!" Like this,
Really?
Yeah, I
Really?
think so. But I was like, Jason, you would think that we did anal for hours. We
Yeah.
did a little missionary. What the fuck?
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
I
Really?
know. And so, but those are moments where I'm like, if we didn't have this safe space, if
Yeah.
we hadn't told each other everything beforehand, if we weren't completely vulnerable, I would be mortified.
Well, it's
Mortified.
crazy. Like nowadays, I saw this meme that was talking about, when you're in high school, it was like how long before I can hold his hand, and now
Yes,
it's like hold his hand, and then you have sex, or whatever, and then now it's like how long can I hold his hand after having sex? And it's so true. Like,
I
and
know.
I'm not saying that you should wait till you fully trust someone to have sex with them. Like that's your choice, whatever. But like there is kind of that thing of like that is a really intimate thing, and if you had done that and you shout on the bathroom floor with some dude you don't know, you'd probably want to like dive
Die.
into a little hole in the ground and never see the light of day again.
Yeah, and I think like something that I realized too was I was the oversharer in so many relationships. I was the
Yeah.
oversharer. I was like, well, my parents got divorced in 1997. It
Yeah.
was a summer's day. They sat me down. Like I'll like do everything,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, but you don't have to share. And I was like, no, like you need to. You're so scared of like asking too much of people.
Yeah.
Like you don't think I've seen Jason poop a million fucking times? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like same, like with Jason too, like he was the first guy too that was like my best fucking friend. He's my best friend. He pisses me off. I daydream about hitting him with a car sometimes. He pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
But that's my best fucking friend. And
Yeah.
I had this like idea of like cool girl monologue
Yeah.
from Gone Girl.
Yes, I've read about that.
She drinks beer, loves
Yeah.
sports, loves giving blowjobs.
Yeah.
Like she is
She's
always out
hot.
hanging out with your friends. She's hot. She's a
Mhm.
size 2. Eats
Mhm.
bread, pizza.
Mhm.
Like I thought I had to be all these things, and then it's so fucked up that at the end of the day, all you have to do is like be yourself,
Yeah.
and you'll never lose. Like whoever doesn't want to be around you won't be around you for the right reasons, not
Yeah.
because you had to put on this facade. Whoever doesn't want to date you, probably better off because you can't really change. At 30, this is who the fuck. Like my mom says,
Yeah.
I raised you. You're your own person. I did what I can do. You are who you are now. I was
Did
like, what do
you
you mean? I'm a baby.
Yeah. I know that is
What do you
true. I
mean?
feel like the older I get, I'm still like, at what point am I supposed to feel like an adult? Um, did you feel like, because if you had kind of lost who like your friendship group, and like you were focusing on like really working on your friends and like that network, and you shifted your attention from like a boy and relationships to that, did you find that
Mhm.
you had to like rediscover in a way who you were, especially after that comment from that woman being like, you don't need to laugh? Like, do you think
Yeah.
you had to go through a lot of personal development? Like, okay,
Mhm.
who am I? And like, do you think that creating a strong network of friends allowed you to find that better?
Yeah, because I that's when I started getting medicated. I suffer from depression,
Okay.
and I was like, it's not working, babe. It's just not working. And that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make you less anything or more of anything. Your chemical in your brain just need a little support.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, my mom said, like, this is a band-aid. You're not gonna become like a different fucking person. It's just
Hmm.
like to help you
Hmm.
and but not solve.
Hmm.
So then after that I was like, fuck it. If I'm gonna pay all this money for therapy and pills, like pills sounds aggressive. Medication, um, like you better be fucking journaling and doing the shadow work and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
And falling in love with yourself, I really do think I am madly in love with myself.
Yeah.
Um, if Jason and I break up though, we're gonna do another episode and we can get really real. And I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about, dude. But like like sitting down and going through like the story of you and trying to understand those places with forgiveness in mind. So
Hmm.
like you can talk about an experience and then be like, and I forgive me or forgive them, or like they're just human, and just try to make sense of it all in a loving way. It was the best thing I ever did. And I think I was so engrossed with like, yeah, my like reconnecting with the friends that I'd lost in previous relationships because I was so codependent. But
Right.
then also starting to be like, you're a bad bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as corny as that is, start doing mirror affirmations.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like my third eye opens up to the love that I am and my divine no, I'm talking about like, oh my God, you have beautiful fucking eyes, bitch. Like even like that is so it's like changes, and you just kind of don't look for it from anybody else. And there have been moments in my life since where I don't feel that confident, and
Yeah.
I have to channel back into that time
Mhm.
where I'm like, "Okay, what do you need right now?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't need anything." Like, there's that saying that, like, witches, like, when like, witch talk and stuff, like, when you're starting to get into witchcraft, like, this girl was telling me that, she thought that she needed to, like, if she wanted to get, like, really witchy with it, I call it,
Mhm.
instead of whatever, jiggy with it, witchy with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. She's like, she thought she needed to get all these, like, candles and oils, and somebody told her a powerful witch would go to the desert with no materials and still have the same results that she would with all those materials. It comes from within.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna take that and make it about me. Thanks, babe. Thank you. I'm gonna take that and make it about me. So,
Yeah.
you know, you know,
That's
you know what I'm saying?
amazing. Do you and is there was there a time that like okay, doing mirror affirmations, like putting in the actual grafting, like day in, day out, like whether that's
Mhm,
journaling or whatever other things that you were doing, like looking in the mirror and being like, I have beautiful eyes. And like my mom is a really big proponent of that. So like I really
mhm.
resonate with that. Like she will look at the mirror and she'll be like, I have the most amazing fucking ears in this whole
Ears.
world. She's like, they're stunning. And they are, they're absolutely beautiful. But
I believe it.
did you ever have a moment where something in life like could have triggered you in some way, like a guy
Mhm,
like rejecting you or like where you didn't feel good enough, and then that kind of inner work that you had done came into play and you were like, actually I am good enough, I am
yeah.
I don't need like the self-hate with it. And it sounded like a bit like when you did the YouTube series that you were like, I'm
Mhm,
putting this out there and I'm,
mhm.
you know, whatever, I'm not going to let people judge me or those thoughts like get to me.
I think it was, Jason and I got into, like, a really bad fight, like, obviously, in the being in a relationship, um, brings out your biggest fears, especially if you have, like, abandonment issues or issues of, quote, unquote, "not being enough" or whatever, and I don't care who you are, Angelina Jolie, Megan Fox, like, everybody has something they have to face, but being in a healthy relationship will really bring that out of you. Being in a toxic relationship is really easy because you don't really have to do anything, you don't have to expose anything or be really vulnerable, you just have to
Right.
protect yourself.
Yeah.
So, being in a healthy relationship is scary, and, I remember Jason and I got into a really big argument. I could not tell you what it was about, but, I know it was something to do with, oh, I think, I have this friend of a friend who got really drunk, and we were at a bar, and she came up to me and Jason, and she was honestly, eyes were rolling in the back of her head, and, she was like, "Don't you," she was like, "Jason, why don't you sign me?" Because Jason's an agent, which is so embarrassing, but she was like 5'10". She's so embarrassed. It was so, I wanted to die for her. I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Why don't you sign me?" Like, and she was like, "Don't you think I'm beautiful? Don't you think I'm gorgeous?" And he was like, "Of course, I think you're stunning." And I had like 2 drinks, and I at that time, and I looked at him like,
Da,
"I'm gonna
da,
fucking
da,
kill you."
da.
Uh-huh. So then, exactly, I was like, "Does anybody have a knife at the bar?" Right. So, so then I looked at him, and I was like, "Why the fuck would you say that? Why would you tell everybody at this bar how stunning she is?" And I realized later, it's because I had a boyfriend, when I was younger, that I had for many years, and he fucked all my friends, and that's, like, a
Wow.
big part of why I didn't have a really great time in Miami. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, dude. Thank you.
Did you know at the
Um,
time, or was it one day
no.
someone told you like all of this stuff?
I him and I broke up because he got, like, really violent with me, and I was telling somebody, and they were like, and she was like, "That couldn't have helped after you found out everybody he slept with." And I was like, "Hmm?
Oh my God.
Huh? Pardon-moisies?
Come
Hmm?"
again?
Yeah, so that was terrible, and, so I think when we got to the house or whatever, I just, like, kept projecting and projecting and projecting,
Right.
and he was like, "I'm a good dude," and he put me in a really awkward position, and I said out loud, for the first time in my life, I was 28,
Yeah.
and, I was like, "I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm a good partner, and I'm a good friend to you," and I said that out loud, and I was like, "Let me write that in my notes."
Just quick journal.
Like, I said that, and I was like, "Oh my god," like, we're fighting, and I was able to, like, stick up for myself
Wow.
and express my value, which before I had only exclusively allowed other people to do for me,
Yeah.
and even then be like, "Oh, shut up. No, I'm not,"
Yeah.
But at that, it came out weirdly, and I have a lot to thank Jason for that because he comes from a different culture, and he's a different sex than me. And he gives me a lot of perspective. He doesn't suffer from any mental illness either. Like, he doesn't experience anxiety or depression. Motherfucker, what a life.
Yeah, I
What a
know.
life. And the other day I was like, have you ever thought about what you look like in clothes? He's like, why would I do that? And I was like, have you ever changed because you felt weird? And he was like, no.
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
and he gained like 20 pounds and he was like, oh, I feel so cozy.
And you know what
I
the
was like,
other thing is?
okay.
If they say they want to lose it, then they just will, and they just will stop eating the sugar and they'll have no problems with it. And then if you're like, I want to lose weight, they'll be like, just do it. And you'll be like,
Jason did light yoga for 20 days, for 60 days. I did it with him. I gained 4 pounds. He lost 20. I gained 4 pounds. He's like, it's probably muscle. And I was like, oh, so why did you look incredible. You have abs for the first time in 4 years. Abs, motherfucker. All my pants are stretch now.
I know, it's ridiculous. Boys have the upper hand.
So, but he's taught me so much about like not being responsible for other people's fucking feelings. Like, yes, it is a little selfish, but sometimes you got to be a little selfish for your own like boundary. And he taught me that having boundaries is not rude. I feel like telling somebody like, I just want to vent right now, I don't need advice, or I don't like it when you talk, or I hope that you don't tell anybody what I'm telling you, or like, why did you tell somebody? Like, sticking up for myself either is not rude, because nobody is going to advocate for you if you don't. And it's such a hard thing that's when you feel like a grown up, what you said. When you feel like a grown up, you feel like a grown up when you start sticking up for yourself. And that's fucking, I need to write that down.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's really like empowering to hear you say that. I'm like, I want to turn someone down, like, just the idea of because I feel like often people can feel pulled and stretched in loads of different ways, and they're trying to, not even necessarily people pleasing, but they just feel bad saying no because they don't want someone to be upset. But a lot of the time there are people in life who are fucking gonna like squash you and step on you, and no one's gonna think about your feelings. And so you have to, whilst being like kind and lovely and empathetic and blah, 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 you do have to have boundaries for yourself, because not only will you be not only I think can you lose yourself a bit in that, but also you can just stretch yourself too thin and then commit to things that you won't be able to deliver on, and then feel shit about yourself in the long term anyway. So
a boundary is asking for your rate. Like, you know what, with projects or sponsors or brands or something, a boundary is asking for money. Or and I say this to Jason all the time, because men get confrontation, and like feelings are not as natural to some as it is others. I tell them all the time, like, confrontation doesn't have to be aggressive. Telling somebody my price is not aggressive, but that is a confrontation in a way. You know what I mean? Like, if you hurt my feelings, I'm like, Molly, I really didn't like what you said, or whatever. I'd be like, that's a confrontation. But I'm not being like, listen, you little fucking bitch. I could, but that won't get me anywhere. I'm not gonna win. And then you're mean to somebody, and you get home, you're like, how can I say that to them?
I know.
Everybody's battling their own battles. Oh my God.
And it's so funny then when people come to you, and if they or if someone fucks you over and then you hate them, and then they come and apologize and they show a little bit of vulnerability, and they're like, you know what, I didn't know everything, I'm sorry about that. Instantly you're like, oh my God, it's totally fine. Of course.
Oh my God, please.
I love you.
What fight? Huh? I didn't even take it that way. And then I have to go back to every other person and be like, you know what I said about Joanna? Okay, she's coming over for lunch.
We like her now.
We're fine. We like her now. And they're like, she fucked your boyfriend. I'm like, ex. On the past.
Oh my God, you really are so funny. Like,
stop.
I don't mean to keep doing that to fuel, like, you know, the keep giving you compliments, but like, you are genuinely like one of the funniest people I've spoken to.
I need to tell you something. Okay, so there's an ex-boyfriend of mine. He was when people talk about narcissists, I'm like, why do they keep describing Leo men? It's like so weird. So I dated this guy, right, for like 2 years. And I'm really embarrassed about it. He's like the kind of guy to wear, like, to post a picture in black and white of him like shirtless with a tip fedora hat. I could literally die. Oh, look at that. My vagina fell off. He literally would, I would say, like, you look so good. You look so handsome. I love giving a compliment. I love it.
Me too.
And he would be like, oh, stop. And then he'd look at me and go, specifically. And I would fall over laughing, because it was like the only moments where he was like earnestly loving a compliment. So when
Okay.
people are like, you look so good, you look so good, I take it from them and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, stop. Specifically, like,
Wait, so is in like specifically like tell me where specifically I look amazing? Okay, that
like my
is
hair
quite
looks
good.
great, your eyeshadow, your
Right, right,
dress, or
right.
whatever, and you're just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me about it. That is actually a pretty good way to handle it.
it's great. And I think when people think about like accepting compliments, they think that they're like someone is like, oh, you look really pretty, and they're like, yeah, I know, bitch. Yeah.
Yeah,
But instead it's like, thank you so much. You look beautiful too, or whatever. And
yeah.
then that person's like, no, I don't. You're like, well, I tried.
Yeah,
So
it's true. Yeah, I do think when
yeah.
people dish out compliments, like it's very interesting. Not necessarily you can tell a lot about a person in the way that they take them, because I think people can change in the way they take them, but people can take compliments super badly. Like when people are like, "Oh no, it's not true," and you're like, "Dude, I'm just saying one nice thing about you. Like it might be the only nice thing about you, so just accept it."
My best friend that I do the podcast with,
Yeah.
okay, I'll go up to her. I had to sit her down and I was like, you're putting me to girl interrupted levels. Like I'm talking like gelled blonde bang
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah.
And because she had problems with acne when
Yeah.
she was younger. So I'd go up to her and be like, "Oh my god, your skin looks amazing. You look radiant." And she'd be like, "It's just makeup, Tevi." And I'm like, "Okay, sorry." And she's like, "I hate it when my friends lie to me. You guys are liars. Tell me the truth." And then I'd be like, "Okay, I think your skin looks good." And she's like, "Oh my god, ugh, I hate it. I hate that I can't trust my friends to like tell me the truth." And I'd be like, "Okay, so next time I'm gonna try something else." The very next day, I see her, and I'm like, "Oh my god, you look so pretty." And she goes, "My skin's terrible." And I
Wait,
said,
wait.
"What do you? Is there something?" We said, "What can we do to make you feel better?" Hello, can you see me?
Hey, okay, wait, go
Can you see
back to
me?
the, yes, I'm back with you now. Go back to the bit where you said,
Uh-huh.
okay, you came back the next
Mhm.
day and you told her, hey, your skin looks terrible. Is that what you said?
No, 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 no. I wouldn't be here. I'd be. You never find. A body was found floating in the Hudson. Like that would be me. No,
Okay,
no, no,
what
no,
did
no,
you say?
no, no. I was like, oh, you look radiant today. Like you
Yeah.
look great. And she was like, oh, I'm having a lot of problems with my skin. And I was like, oh, well, what do you think is giving you an issue? Like, what do you need to research? And is this something that you're eating?
Mm.
And because I tried to be like, okay, obviously she wants something more active,
Right.
like, and so I was more like help
Yeah.
of something. So I was like, okay, do you think it's like your birth control or something? And I said, what can we do to make you feel better? And I'm trying to make it like team thing. She goes, so you admit and I was like, I can't, Molly, um, I don't know what to do. And then later on, I sat her down and I was like, Molly, you're killing me. And she goes, I know, I can never take like something
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
and take advantage of it because when she like when things are so black and white
Yeah.
for her, you're either telling like for me, I'll be like, there was 1,000 pigeons
Yeah.
outside my
Yeah.
window. She's like, there couldn't be 1,000. I'm like, there were six. But Molly, you know what I mean? So when things are so black and white, it's so rigid, and that bleeds into everything in your life, including beauty.
Right.
So if you look at yourself, and I call it my Renaissance nose. I've always had a problem with my nose because everybody wants like the
Why?
Meghan Markle ski slope, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Jason had it.
Yeah. Okay. Of course he
But
does.
I have my thank you to my Austrian grandmother for all of her contributions.
Yeah.
So I have this nose and I call it my Renaissance nose, but
Hmm.
that started this year. I've always hated it or whatever. But I started like every single thing that you don't like about yourself. Like I was obsessed with my thighs for a while.
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed on a girl in a picture, in a
Yeah.
video, anything, I like right at the thigh.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm becoming so black and white that if they
Yeah.
don't look a certain way, it's not beautiful to me. And it's so easy to do that. And the only way to get rid of that is to talk to yourself. You got to talk to yourself, babe.
Yeah.
Like you got to talk to yourself. You got to be like, I am, or if you're single too, something that I like to do is when my friends are like, I'm never gonna find somebody, I'm single, I'm so
Hmm.
frustrated. I'm like, Sylvia is single, Jesse is single, Jeff
Hmm.
is single, Flora is single. Do you think that they're unlovable? And they're like, of
Yeah.
course not. I'm like, so why are you unlovable? And then I smash that case. I smash it. I fucking kill it. I'm like, woo! I killed it. Oh, I just brightened up the aura for you, babe. You're welcome. I'll
It's
invoice
true
you
though.
later.
People
Yeah.
love this. I heard recently someone talking about like, if you're genuinely happy in yourself, like you're not going to be this is their perspective, that you're not going to be looking at the person on the street being like, oh, they're a bit fat, like they should go on a run or whatever.
No.
Like, you wouldn't do that. You just be like, maybe they're fucking happy in their life, you know? And like,
And
maybe
if you
I
heard
was
somebody call them
happy.
fat,
Yeah.
if you were on the street and you heard somebody call them fat, you'd be like, you motherfucker,
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
before I kill you.
Literally.
You know?
Yeah.
100%. Or like my best friends that'd be like, I'm the ugliest friend in the group. I'm like, I didn't know Bella Hadid was in our friend group. We're all, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you acting like Stephanie Seymour and whoever, Tyra and
Don't know.
Naomi
Okay.
are here
Yeah.
in this friend group? We're all regular schmegular girls.
Yeah,
I
so
just happen,
true.
you know what I mean? So I have never had a guy been like, I don't want to fuck her. Her nose is a little big. Never.
I know.
Never.
I know.
So,
but then I wonder why, because like, you know, at times like I'll look in the mirror and be like, ugh, this is a bit shit, and like I need to get in shape. And often, like, being totally honest, I'm not proud of this at all, but it will be, I will see myself from the perspective of how I think guys see me, and I'll be like, oh, I should get in shape for this time because if I want to sleep with this person. And then I'm like, wait. And like when I catch myself doing it, I'm like, but that is not true on any level at all. And so like, where am I trying to get to? And like, why is now not good enough? Like, why is there always a goal, you know?
I'm gonna tell you something, okay? I'm on the Twitter, all right?
Yeah.
And next time you or anybody else is like, I need to look this way for a guy, I want you to know that about a month ago, I was on the tweets, and somebody said, my boyfriend thought that just water hitting his ass was washing his asshole, and about 900 men said, what do you mean? They're not even washing their fucking assholes with soap, and you're going to the gym for them? Baby, don't even brush the teeth at this point. You're fine. Like, please. Like, and let me tell you something else. Jason's like, oh, when are you gonna shave? And I was like, do you know how many times I've given you a BJ and I'm like this for hours? Absolutely
Right?
not. Shave your own fucking balls.
Yeah.
And also, your fucking nipples look like the gardens of Versailles. Worry about that. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself, babes.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Water.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So then, do you have any advice, like, for people who sometimes like can't take a compliment, or who compare themselves to whatever, you know, person that they're not, and then they're just, you know, can't think of themselves in a good way at all. Do you have any advice, like, to what people can do or like actively think in those moments to get them away from those negative thoughts?
Yeah. First of all, when it comes to negative thoughts, remember that those things are just your protective instincts coming in, because that side of you just wants to see you safe. So stop, let them in. I picture it like I have this like beautiful English cottage, like Cameron Diaz in The Holiday.
The Holiday, yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. No Jude Law though. The Jude Law is intrusive thoughts. So you open up the door and you let them in, and you talk to them, and you talk to these thoughts however you want to shape it. They could be scrambled words or in a fit person, or it could be like your inner child, whatever it is. I let them in. This isn't like meditation either. I do this while I'm showering.
Okay.
Like, and I'll let them in and I'll hear them out. And then after I hear them out and I try to understand where they're coming from, you have to make the decision that you are deserving of more. And once you realize that you have this power within you to just decide, and people think that happiness has to come from all these things. You have to decide to be happy. You have to decide not to care about what other people think. You have to decide that only bad bitches have cellulite.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I call it my bad bitch dimple.
Yeah.
Like everything. I look like the fucking Animal Kingdom tree in Disney sometimes, and I'm like, more to love. Like, of course, I mean, I'm 30, my body, I look like a woman, and it's really hard for us to be like, I don't look like a malnourished 15-year-old Swedish model. Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know? So I have to make the decision.
Yes.
To say, like, I am beautiful, and I've seen women on the beach with cellulite rocking a thong, and I always say, you fucking go.
Yes.
Why not for me?
Yeah.
Why not for me? And I always think, like, if I was a team of people, I've probably said this a million times, but it's my favorite thing to think about. If I was a team of people, the creative team working around me, okay? Let's say that you're like at Sirius XM, you have a team of people with you, and somebody that works for you is like, this other person on our team was telling everybody how you're not funny, you're not personal, you're not talented. Not only are you ugly, but you're stupid. and they don't even know how you got this opportunity. You're so lacking of talent. What would you do? You
Oh,
fire that person.
yeah, you fucking kill them and be like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm a team of one. Why would I already poison my team?
Yeah.
I'm just a team of one. Why would I already poison the well water? I just don't even understand. So once you decide to be like, I am going to be not the word delusional. Yeah, fuck it. Be delusional. Be delusional, babe.
Yeah.
Be delusional. The people on Shutter Island are very happy.
Yeah. So
You
true.
know,
Yeah.
that old lady doesn't even know she's bald. The
Yeah.
one with the blue eyes, she has no idea. She thinks she's Marilyn Monroe. She's very happy. I'd rather be like that. I'd rather be like that. I'd rather somebody come up to me and be like, "It's not going to work out," and me end it saying, "With this team, with this company, it won't.
Yeah.
But somebody else it will. With you, it won't.
Yeah.
But somebody it will." Because I'm what? Delusional, babe. That's it.
I love
Yeah.
that. I think, yeah, that's it's such an important thing to remember. Do you think, going back to what you said earlier, you said I wasted so much time.
Wasted.
But when you say wasted, do you regret it, or do you feel like you couldn't be where you're at now if you hadn't have gone through that?
I wouldn't be as empathetic or compassionate
Okay.
if I hadn't been so low. Like I don't even think people understand like how low it was. Like I watch Euphoria when Rue won't leave the room and I'm like, amateur, babe. Amateur.
Oh my God.
Like I was so low. I was like depression is just like such a hopeless place.
Yeah.
And it's different for everybody, but for me it was more like there's no point. There's no point. And I remember also like my relationship with food was so fucked that I missed out on making so many memories with my friends, going to the beach, going dancing, going drinking with my friends, like girls nights, playing board games, because I didn't feel like I didn't look right. And one, the way nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. And two, if you talk about it, you'd be so surprised how people are like, me too.
Yeah.
Like I can relate so dearly. And three, we're focused. The biggest pains in my life is because I was so upset about what other people thought.
Yeah.
When they still think that way, and it has not affected my life in any way. Anyway, I don't get less pay because of it.
Yep.
I don't meet new people who dislike me because they're like, "Oh, aren't you that girl that said that in 10th grade?" Like never, ever, nothing. And the mistakes that we've made, like we have all this like anxiety going on.
Yeah.
And the mistakes that we've made, like it's never, ever, ever defined me. The only thing that's ever defined me is what I do about it.
Right. Yes.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. My
No,
friend
go for it.
is at the door. Hold
Go
on.
for it. You're all good.
I'm just on a podcast. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. You look so cute. Yeah. Sorry.
You're all good.
So yeah. But yeah, so I just when you're a teenager, when you're young, things feel so definite.
Yeah.
If I don't get this job, I'll never get this position. Or if this doesn't work out, I'm already too quote unquote old. I'm never gonna get married, or like I'm never gonna get over this heartbreak, or no one's ever gonna like me, or like I lost my best friend. Like she's not gonna be the bridesmaid at my wedding. Like I wish that people just knew that like nothing is ever definite. Like nothing.
Yeah.
You know? If Jason asks, so it is. I'd let him know that. If Jason asks, if you're listening to this podcast, you can remind Jason that this is 100% definite. And if he wants to divorce me, he has to wait the day after the wedding because I already put the deposit on the venue. So done. Definite, babe. That's definite.
You're amazing as a human being.
So are you, babe.
Thanks,
I have to stop saying babe. I've been listening to a lot of 80s movies and I keep saying babe. And then I've watched a little Love Island and babes. I told Jason to crack on. I don't say that.
Tell me you watch the English Love Island though, right? Because that's the best one.
With Maura.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, English one is the best.
It's the best one. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the US. Why? I already know those dudes. I already know them.
Yeah.
I know who they are, you know. But yeah, so crack on with it, babes.
Yes, crack babes. Thanks, mate. I think that's like an amazing reminder and something that is like just so good to remind yourself that one, like no one cares and like no one's thinking about what you look like or and the people who are judge you are the super irrelevant ones. And what you said of it you know doesn't affect you. Like whether you listen to it or whether you don't listen to it, it's not gonna it doesn't actually affect, it wasn't if you don't listen to it or you do listen to it, but those people with those negative thoughts don't actually have an impact in your life either way. And what you said about you being on your team, like, dude, if you're not on your team, who the fuck is,
You've already started off. Whoever comes on your team, it won't matter because you're already that sour apple in the group. You could have Seth Rogen, Judd Apatow, and a Fleabag, I forget her name, who's so talented. That's embarrassing. But
Wait, Fleabag? Do you mean wait, you don't mean Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers?
no, I mean the show Fleabag, the English show.
Oh,
You know what
yes,
I'm talking
love
about?
her. Don't know the name.
Love her. Don't know the name.
Yeah.
It's like 3 of them though. She's rough for us people who have ADHD. You're getting that 3 names. So I like those people could be on your team helping you write. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if you don't think that you're like worth it or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think the key is to decide what matters to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Pick 3 things that matter to you. It could be your happiness, your health, your fitness, your whatever it is. Pick those 3 things, and then the rest of it is just secondary. It's just secondary or last.
Mm-hmm.
My to-do list, God, if I could show you, like a CVS receipt. Okay.
Tefi, you are amazing.
I love you.
I love you. I love you so much. I feel like every watch your YouTube videos, I'm like, please don't leave. If people want to like access all your pod, your YouTube, your Insta, can you like speak about it now? And I'll also obviously put everything in the description too.
Just my @is HelloTefi, TEFI, because my full name is Estefani Pessoa, but Tefi is so much easier.
Yeah.
Just go to Instagram, type in HelloTefi on YouTube or on Apple and Spotify. I have a podcast with my best friend Molly. It's called Que Pena. Yeah. And search that. Have a great time, or don't. But I'll be on your timeline regardless. And TikTok too, whatever. TikTok if you want to talk about, meditation and Britney Spears in 2007. Yeah. That's what I talk about.
2007, was that her crisis meltdown point?
It was a hard time for us Britney fans, but we pulled through all together.
I felt bad for her then. But not in a mean way. Like, I loved her. I thought the press was mean. Thank you so much. You've literally like made my Saturday. And I'm gonna stop recording now. Wait, let me